Hey Realmers, new update, season 21. Let's go. New season. So this is season 21.5, I believe. This is season 21 part 2. Let's read through. Realmers, it is time for another testing session. This time you'll be able to have a first look at our upcoming Void event. Feel free to share any of your feedback with us on our official Discord. Additionally, this update will include several fixes to the Archer, Knight, and Ninja, and enchantments with damage multipliers. Let's keep going. The Void event. So we got the Void event, which is just around the corner, starting on the 3rd of June and ending on the 24th of June. So by the time when this is uploaded, it will be the 3rd or maybe even the next day. This event will feature the following. Tinted blooming flowers will spawn in all adept biomes. That actually looks, I like the art. That actually looks really pretty. Once defeated, they drop portals to the remnant of the void. Starting in the second week and running until the end of the event, Beacon Guardians and all encounters in the room will drop additional loot. Okay, so this is similar to those gates that we used to have way back when, whenever there was a void event, where you would destroy the, was it void event? I don't remember if it was void event. But you would be able to destroy these like crystals, and they would drop things like loot drop, loot tier potion, and all other consumables and customizable stuff. Please note that the realm events won't be active. Okay, I'm just reading. What I'm reading right now is during the testing session, but by the time when this is out, this is gonna be no longer in testing. This will be public, so this is gonna be available for everybody. Dungeon events. All right, so this is a void focused. This is a void focused event, so all week there's going to be events for the void. All weeks meaning, in this case, I'm looking at 3 weeks worth of void. It looks like they're going to be dropping void remains times 3. Void remains are going to be, I guess, these little quests, these quest items that you will use to unlock stuff in the Tinkerer. There's also going to be a chest week 1 or 2, so chest event. Gotta love those chest events. You know, more whites are always welcome. And then 1.5 times loot, XP, and Exalt, which is the Exalt banner, will be available for week 3. I mean, if it's void focused, I mean, hey, for mana exaltation, I think this is great. Shiny hunting is gonna be a lot more serious now, especially with these changes. But now that's just for the void. Now there's specific dungeons that are getting these changes per week. So week 1, this is gonna go through. This is tough to read because they do it in a strange format. June 3rd till June 10th. So that's how it is. You get the Spider Den, which drops Void Remains times 1. Again, same questing. Only thing is with an extra 30% chance to drop after boss. Parasite Chambers. Same thing, 1 and 1, a 50% chance to drop after the boss. Nest and Void will have the same thing. I don't know why, but I feel like we already knew this. I don't know why they repeated the Void one, but okay. The Nest one makes sense. Void remains times 5 after defeating the boss. Also, I see that it says times 5. I don't know if it means that it's like 5 of the Void remains, or if it means like the number of it is multiplied by 5. I'm not sure. My guess is that it's just gonna be 5. So you'll get 5 void remains for Nest, 3 for the void, 1 and 1 for a parasite chamber. My guess is maybe it's applying to Tea Room as well. And Spider Den, which will be 1 with a 30% chance. So 1 for Spider Den, 1 for parasite, 5 for Nest, 3 for void. That's how I'm taking it. Week 2, it's going to continue from the 10th to the 17th. Same scenario now, but now it's Undead Lair, Crawling Depths, Cultist, and Moonlight Village. Undead Lair, 1 times. Oh, and here's the difference though. So week 2, they're actually spicing it up. So Undead Lair, same thing. 1 remain with 50% chance after defeating the boss. And they're applying the 1.5 loot and XP. So I think that's a lot more interesting than week 1, personally. That's my opinion. And 1.5 loot also for Crawling Depths. And that's it for those 2. However, Cultist Hideout and Moonlight Village are getting a chest event. Cultist will have times 5 And Moonlight Village actually will have ×8 void remains. My guess is because there's 3 bosses, and so my guess is you have to divide it across all 3 of them to get a certain number of void. So I don't know exactly how the order is going to be. Maybe you have to include Yumi as well. So if like maybe it's not guaranteed 8. We'll find out when the actual event comes out. Week 3 is going to go from the 17th to the 24th. This is the final week. So once again, same thing with the, I don't need, again, I'm going to repeat it again with the void remains. We all know it's going to be what's happening. I mean, you can read ahead. It says ×1, ×1, ×3 in order of Cave of 2,000 Treasures, Toxic Sewers, Lair of Draconis, Lost Halls, as well as Cogbold Steamworks. Now, they're doing the 1.5 times loot for the first 3, loot and XP for the first 3. The last one, however, they're doing a chest event, and specifically for Cogbold, they're doing an Exalt banner. So there's going to be a 33% chance banner so that you can get your Exaltation. So I think that's pretty cool, especially if you're if you're trying to get your exalts in for that dungeon. That should make it easier. Overall, pretty good. So over here we got dungeons will feature. So this is one. Now this I'm actually confused with. It says Void Guide in Lost Halls for week 3. I am not sure what it means by Void Guide, but my guess is that it means that there might be some kind of entity or some kind of tool or something that'll help you figure out how to, I guess, do the void, like a tutorial. I'm not sure. I mean, let me know what it really means, because this is new to me. I've never seen a void guide before. Void portal opened after defeating the boss in Lost Halls. I think this one, okay, now this one is guaranteed void after beating the boss. So you don't have to do your collect vials anymore and open vial. It'll just be available for anybody to use, which I think is pretty good. Spotlight event, except Moonlight Village. This is new to me as well. Maybe somebody knows exactly what this is, but it says, which gives darkness inspired and 1.2 times dex boost. I'm gonna assume that this means during the boss fights, there's gonna be a spotlight event, and which will give you these status conditions: darkness, inspired, and 1.2 times dex boost. I think that's what they mean by spotlight event. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Please let me know what y'all think. It's interesting, I'll tell you that, but I don't know. And finally, tinted bosses. A tinted version of the boss will spawn in newbie, rookie, and adept dungeons. It will have a chance to drop remnants of the void portals and extra loot. So again, because they're promoting the event, some bosses that already exist or bosses that exist in these dungeons will be able to drop a remnant of the void. I mean, if you see these sprites, I mean, we got the Toxic Sewers one. I think one of them is the Hive as well, and of course Oryx. If you kill any of these tinted ones, so looking forward to that. That is great. And also over here we got a community event. Okay, so obviously this is just going by, I believe, XP gained or fame. Either it's fame or it's XP. I'm not entirely sure what the currency is that's being used for this competition. But I mean, if you look at the chart, it goes, if we got to work together. This is a community event, so we're all working together to attain all of this. Starting from level 1, we get, these, simple stuff. But actually, the last one is pretty interesting because you get 3 chests, a lucky clover, golden clover, a mystery skin, a character slot, and I guess that is an emote. I mean, now that I look at it, it is nice. It's nice. Pretty nice, I guess. And here are all the quests. I'm not going to read through all of this, but this is what's basically going to be in the Tinker once the event starts. Most of these are, like, for example, the first 4 are going to be available the whole event. And if I keep scrolling further, week 1 is going to be these 2, and then week 2 is going to have a bit more, actually, which is going to be all of these, and then week 3 has even more. So week 1 is actually the weaker one in terms of content, but week 3 has a bunch of stuff. What they're saying is start doing voids, like just grind voids like there's no tomorrow, because you'll be able to get all of these rewards. If y'all got exalts, this is worth getting. If you got exalts for void, like you need your mana exaltations, all of this is pretty worth it in my opinion. Oh yeah, also you could definitely get whites too. Apparently whites are also available for this, so even cooler. Also, I just got distracted. I realized that for some reason over here they added this cool effect, which is supposed to resemble the void or something. I think it's cool, but it's kind of weird that they put it there. Personally, I don't know. That's just really weird. So complete missions related to void enemies to unlock more rewards. So it says void enemies. So my guess is this mission is going to be different because from what I'm seeing, it's split up between, you got the regular one here, and then you have what looks like void focused ones over here. I know it shows like things like shatters, and it shows void, shatters, cogbolt, and moonlight village, but it says related to void enemies. So I think the special case here is that if you stick to the left side, you'll be getting, so when you stick to the left side, you have all of these that are void focused, and then here which has a bit of everything else. Pretty simple, straightforward. Here are your rewards: quest chests, tarot card pack, premium silver card, gaze of the void shard. My guess is that these are not the only things that are available. I don't think these are the only things that are available. I think this is just part of the reward that's going to be available, similar to the ones that we previously had, just with these ones being extra. Collect 15 gaze of the void shard to unlock a new player entrance. Oh, so that's what it is. That's a void entrance. Okay, that's pretty sick actually. As a void as an entrance, that is pretty cool. Now I understand what, like, I think this was not supposed to be there. It was an accident that they put that there. Equipment rarity changes. Okay, this is, I think, what most people are looking forward to. I think everybody's always looking forward to new items. So, new enchantments. Now this I'm excited about because some of these items, I feel like they absolutely need changes or something different from the base. So you got Fractured Blade, which is the Awakened Crystal Sword. Attack split in 2 additional shots away from the player, allowing for high damage if distance is maintained. It could act more like a Colossus Sword, where it's like splits off but then converges in another spot to do more damage. Maybe that's what it meant by split. Or it could be similar to the daggers, special daggers, the ones that do the piercing damage. I forgot the name of them, forgive me. Also, we got the crystal shards, which is an awakened crystal wand. Now, I used to enjoy regular crystal wand. The crystal wand, back in like how many years ago, it used to be so good. It used to be such a good item to use, particularly with, like, you know, enemies that have like really high defense. Now, I mean, you got all these other items that just outperform it, but it's been kind of eating dirt, and I feel bad. But now they're adding a twist to it, which I think will put it back in a good position. Summon small crystals as you shoot that shatter into multiple high damage projectiles targeting enemies. So this is what I picked up. Shatters into multiple high damage projectiles. So when you shoot, instead of doing only one projectile, it'll be multiple, and they target enemies. So they are going to be auto-locking shots, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if the damage is going to be like, I mean, it says multiple high damage. Is it going to be like a competitive type of damage? Or is it going to be like semi-good, but like a little better than the original, but still kind of on the weak side? Only when we test it, we'll find out. But that is pretty cool. Third one, Bone Claws. This is the Awakened Bone Dagger. Oh, I used to love collecting Bone Dagger doing Manor of Immortals. That was good days. I mean, now I don't pick it up anymore. Fires 2 bloody claws that inflict high bleeding damage. So they're adding a bleed effect now to this weapon. So I'm guessing, again, all of these, besides just having special traits, I'm under the impression that they will do more damage. So and this one is saying that it's going to apply a bleed. So if you're a rogue, assassin, especially if you're a rogue and assassin, I think this is going to be really, really good swap out. Mixcoatls, that's how you pronounce it? Mixcoatls Dance, which is the awakened robe of the Tlatoani. Please tell me I said that correctly. Adds a hefty amount of dex. It's the same, so this is basically the robe that you get from the Forbidden Jungle. Main one is just kind of just gives MP and Wiz, and that's it. Now they're adding a large amount of dex to it. Is it gonna make it viable? I'm not sure. I think more people would rather have like attack, defense, HP, that kind of stuff. But like, I mean, I guess it's a decent DPS swap out, maybe. For the record, it's not gonna top Vesture and it won't top Diplo, but I think it is a nice thing to have, at least in the early to mid game. Ragen's Dance, Awakened Tlatoane's Shroud. Now, this is the Secluded Thicket robe. This is the one that you get from Secluded Thicket, the second boss. Actually, not even the second boss. It's the three things that you fight. Those ones are the ones that drop it. And now this one's dropping the Awakened version. Lightning Blast 3 nearby enemies while using your ability. Lightning Blast 3 enemies while using your ability. That's crazy. I'm thinking it's gonna act similar to a Scepter Blast. That's how I'm taking it as, because Scepters are technically Lightning Blasts. Having a Scepter Blast built into a robe, I think is really cool. And this is supposed to be the stronger version of the Forbidden Jungle one. So imagine this, but with like, imagine this build with a Nidarian Rod and a Gemstone. How incredibly strong this could be. This is incredible in my opinion. Unholy Spirits, unique weapon. Now this is not a weapon, but a modifier where it summons stationary spirits that attack nearby enemies while you shoot. So this is going to be a mod that you will get from using the enchantment tool or using the enchantments in the vault. My guess is that it's going to be really rare. Summoning stationary spirits, that's nice. It could be really useful only in situations where bosses or enemies are stationary themselves. If they're not stationary, might not be that effective, but I still think it's a pretty cool mod. Now here we get to some other changes. This is still related, I believe, to the artifacts as well as the enchantments. Artifacts now drop in gold bags. That's good. So what they're saying is now that instead of a tarot card pack, the actual artifacts themselves will now drop in gold bags instead. So instead of it randomly generating, you can get a specific one in a gold bag, which is nice, I think. Instead of having it be, it's still gonna be random, but now you'll just get it on the spot. Artifacts can now be stored in the forge chest in the vault. The Ivory Heart artifact now additionally increases the Draconic Gaze Awakened mod's weight by 10 times. Okay, that's impressive. The Artificial Core Awakened enchantment for the Staff of Extreme Prejudice has been reworked. I don't know what that means. We'll just have to wait and see what it actually does once it gets released. Lowered HP scaling for objectives and minions in Spec Pen, Lost Halls, and Shatters. I remember that apparently people were upset that like these dungeons specifically were taking a little too long because of how the HP scaling worked in those dungeons. But now they're lowering it, so rushing and killing minions will be much easier. Destroying, in this case with Shatters, destroying those statues will be much better. As well as with Lost Halls, the minions will die quicker. Same thing with Spec Pet. Great. I think it's pretty good. Single item blueprints now have collection icons and labels for their original item for forging. Blueprint drops have been added to more locations. Okay, so there's going to be more places now where blueprints can drop compared to their usual spots. Great. Okay. Overall, these are pretty good. Some of these are really good changes, I think. I hope. or rebalance. With the inclusion of new forge values for UTs, ores have become rather low impact, and we want to make sure these items are still valuable picks for the item forge. I'm not going to read too much into this. I don't know if people actually use these ores personally. I mean, you can read it for yourselves. I mean, most people are just going to be forging them from their whites instead of just the ores themselves. But I think these are still pretty good changes. Don't get me wrong. They're good changes, but I don't personally use them that much. I tend to use just the whites that I get, not so much the ores themselves. I think maybe a good idea will be to have the ores be more easily available as like drops in dungeons. If you can get just raw ore as loot in dungeons, I think that'll make it more worth it than just getting it from like specific situations. Dust drops. Okay, so dust drops have been increased across all dungeons in the game. That is really good. 10% to green dust, 30% to red dust, 40% to purple dust. More dust, I mean, we all want to enchant our items more frequently than ever. So I think that giving it a 10, 30%, 40% buff to each of them in that order, huge win. I mean, we all want more dust. We want to enchant more. This is in the right direction. In addition, we have various changes to the dust available in the realm, mostly correcting encounters to drop the dust type you would expect. Okay. Beer God now drops red dust instead of purple dust. Okay, I guess. Ghost Ship, Maze, Minotaur, Goblin Patriarch. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this. You can read it for yourself. But all of these, so all of those bosses will now drop red dust instead of green dust. Okay, wait, that is actually really good. Dropping red dust instead of green dust, really good. Adult Bane Serpent and Bloodrot Heart now drop purple instead of red. I am shocked that they actually never dropped purple and instead of drop red. Those were like tough bosses in the realm. They're tough bosses in the realm. So it's kind of surprising that you cannot get purple dust from them. You only get red. Really weird in my opinion. But good fix, good change. I'm very happy with these dust drop changes. This is really, really good. I'm not going to read actually most of these fixes. I think these are just, again, these are just things that were not meant to happen. You can read this one for yourselves. Those are just the fixes. All of this are, so here are the fixes. All of this is just available. I'm not going to read through all of it, but these are, okay, you can look and read it for yourselves. Item balance. Okay, I saw poison. Now, I am primarily a staff class player, and I love staff classes. I would play mostly wizard. I also play mystic and necro from time to time. But I also enjoy assassins too. I remember I played a lot of assassin. Now, after the rework, I mean, the rework that they did was pretty good, and I enjoyed it. I think being able to do more damage with the poison, I think was such a good step in the right direction. But they're actually making it even stronger. So I won't read too much into this, but I just want to get straight to the chart because this is where it matters. Now, this is only applying, so this is going to apply to the tiered items, but it also applies to some whites as well. But I mean, I'm not going to read too much into the details here. But long story short, every single number here that involves the damage to the poison, that is damage over time, impact damage, total damage, damage per whiz, base damage, damage over 50 per damage boost per whiz over 50. Everything here is getting buffed by, in my opinion, a pretty good margin. I mean, if we go all the way down to tier 7, because I think that's the most important one in my opinion, the total base damage goes up to 1250 damage. That's impressive. That is very, very impressive. And this is just the base. This is not even accounting for the whiz multiplier. So if you implement whiz count into this, it'll be even stronger. That is powerful. So assassins are getting some love this patch. I think this is really, really good. We got more information about some of the poisons that also got buffs, actually, for the most part, across the board. Mighty Stin, impact damage buff, total damage buff, bit buff, actually, from 16 to 18. 5 impact scaling 5 to 9. Radius actually got lowered because I guess they didn't want it to be too easy to use. Damage boost altogether, damage boost scale also altogether boost higher. Damage boost, so Mighty Stan got buffed. Murky Toxin also got buffed, which is, I mean, this is just awesome, honestly. All of this, awesome. And finally, Bottled Medusozoan. I don't know why I could. This is the Nigerian poison. Also got a damage buff, but here's an interesting one. The blasts now pierce armor. So this is an armor piercing poison. Also really good change. I'm very, very happy with that. We also got some more over here. So no change to Pollen Incendiary. Plague Poison also got an all-around buff. Pandemic Poison got a buff. Crystallized Fang Venom also got a... Whoa, okay, wait. This is the poison that you... This is Pogmer. This is Pogmer. Also got a 400 damage buff. Whoa. Okay. That, for an item, that for a white bag that you get from an event white that you get from the veteran biomes, this is really good. This is extremely good. Tyrant's Toxin got a buff altogether. Damage for Wiz also, yep. Polarity Poison. Not too, I think Polarity Poison is supposed to be like one of the best poisons in the game. So it makes sense that they won't give it too many buffs, but they still buffed it anyways by giving it a +5 Wiz mod buff. So primary bomb Wiz scaling up by 5. Really, really good. Parasitic Concoction also got a buff. The impact damage was once 0. I didn't even realize it was 0 in the past. They gave it 200. Total damage is now up to 750. Damage all around buff. Virulent Venom. I actually don't know what this poison is. Let me look this up real quick. This is the ST poison that you get from Toxic Sewers. That one also got a buff. So, yeah, in regards to poisons, all of them got buffs. There's not a single one that got nerfed. Every poison got buffed. I'm happy. This is fantastic change. I think assassin mains, people who love playing assassins, rejoice. You get to enjoy your characters and class a lot more. Now this one, remember how I said that I am a staff class main? Personally, I enjoy staff classes. Skulls are also getting buffs across the board. Again, I won't read too much into the details. They basically went through all of the skulls and made them stronger, but they didn't buff their damage necessarily speaking in terms of the flat damage. They just buffed the damage per Wiz over 50. So it's encouraged now to have more Wiz because all these tiered ones and UT ones will now actually just do more damage overall. Not as big as the poisons, but still very, very impactful. So I am happy with this. I mean, you can read over this and, you know, whatever your favorite skull is, I'm sure it might be here somewhere that got buffed. These are really, really good changes. Next, we got leather armors. Leather armors. So leather armors are all around getting a buff. As you can read here, they all gain basically just 1 defense higher. So now leather armors have a little bit more value by having 1 more defense. What I'm curious about are the UTs here. So 3 of them have actually got buffs. Snakeskin armor now has 15 defense, 4 speed, 4 dex. For a mid-game, beginner game kind of UT, I think these are really good, like, additions. This is really, really good. Spectral is what I'm more impressed by. 13 defense, 5 attack, 5 dex. This is incredibly good for a cyan bag leather armor. This is really, really good. I think it's not exactly like the best armor in the game, so to speak, but for like mid-game play style, this is really, really good. I'm very, very happy with this. Finally, we got the Coral Silk armor that also got buffed. 14 defense, 8 dex, 8 whiz. I think that the whiz is pretty nice. I think, again, primarily for characters like Assassin, I think this is a pretty nice change. Most of these are just meant for like mid-game stuff. It's to make it feel more powerful while you're progressing through the game. They're not end game items, but they are pretty strong for like mid-game content, mid-game level play. I think this is pretty good. So all around leather armors got buffed. Woodland Mystic UT set. Now, I am not gonna read too much into this. If you care about the Woodland Mystic UT set, the summary of it all is that they basically got buffed across the board. I'm not going to read too much into this, but yeah, they basically just buffed them. I mean, I'll just slowly scroll through it for you guys to read. These ones basically all around just got buffed, and also some changes too. I'm not too big on the Mystic set, but these are pretty nice. Next, we also got another Mystic set. This one's the ST set. So regarding this set, they basically made some changes. I don't know, like, it's kind of like buffs, and they're kind of like nerfs here and there. Again, I'll let you guys read through this. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this set either, but if there are people who do care about having the whole set, I think this is a pretty good, I think these are overall pretty good changes. Again, the idea is that they want to encourage you to use this set more. So these are more like positives towards people who like using these ST sets. Okay, and finally, these are other items that are okay, this is where it gets very, very interesting, okay? So, first of all, okay, no changes for Bone Dagger, that's fine. Here's the interesting one. Staff of Unholy Sacrifice now fires forward, and the arc gap is being lowered from 15 to 13. Guys, Staff of Unholy Sacrifice is now actually good. It can be used now. This is really, really nice. Now, it is unfortunate that The gimmick behind it that you could have to shoot backwards is gone. It's a gimmicky item. It, well, was a gimmicky item. Now, it's not. Now you can actually use it for its intended purpose, which is you want to shoot forward and you want to do raw damage in front of you. This is a really, really good change. It's simple, but it is really good. Is it going to make it like on par with like say a superior? I'm not sure. We have to look at the damage numbers. I think that this is a really good change. I've always wanted to use this staff, but I just never could bring myself to do it because I didn't like the gimmick. But now that the gimmick is gone, though it is unfortunate because I know there are people who like that gimmick, it's still really useful now. If people can actually properly use it and kill enemies with it. I mean, that's what you want to do. I mean, I'll be happy now when I get this in cults. This is going to be a good change. Symbiotic Ripper, damage 115 and 170 to 120, 170. So overall, small buff to the weapon. No change to the... Wow, pardon me. I can't say this correctly. Kyuketsuki Hitogoroshi. Did I say that correctly? The shot of this weapon is now fired backwards when you shoot boomerang a fair distance in front of the player instead of behind. Okay, I don't know this weapon, so overall I'm guessing this is supposed to be a buff. Here's the one I am sad about. Now, this is apparently, I've got this weapon one time. The Elder Heartwood staff apparently was super broken on release. It was not supposed to be as good as it was. And they nerfed it to the ground. It is now a mid item. The pierce has been removed. The projectile speed has been lowered from 160 to 80. That is a huge drop. Insane. And the damage has also been lowered. A little bit, but still, removing everything being lowered as it is so unfortunate. I have never enjoyed using a staff more like this one. It may not have been as strong. I say it's not as strong. Let me rephrase. This staff may not be as powerful as say a T14 staff or a superior, but it is so fun to use. It was incredibly satisfying and they nerfed it to the ground. I don't know if I'll be happy to pick it up anymore, especially the pierce element. I love that it could pierce. It's so sad that you can't anymore. I think in my opinion, I think it's bad now. It's a little bit sad that they did that. It shouldn't have. They should have definitely left it alone, in my opinion. Or if you wanted to nerf it, just do the damage, but not the projectile speed or the piercing. Okay, I'll just have to accept that it's gonna be the way that it is. Wand of Hidden Knowledge. Now let me actually look this up real quick. So Wand of Hidden Knowledge is the one that you get from Cursed Library. It's definitely got changes. Again, you can read into the numbers what it means. It looks like overall it's getting like buffs and nerfs and some weird change regarding cursing. Okay, it has a gimmick where you can curse yourself now. I don't know if people will actually use this, but hey, if you like it, cool. Marionette Ravager, I don't know what this is, but apparently it looks like it's getting nerfed. Well, more like changed actually. So Marionette Ravager is basically getting a buff, new proc, rate of fire increase, but a little bit lower damage. But overall, I think this is a buff. Next, we got the Primal Arcana. I love this orb. This orb is like one of my favorite orbs in the game. It is actually getting a buff too. There's a proc cooldown change of 0.2. I guess it's to prevent it from being too easily spammable. So they added a small cooldown. This is an overall buff to Primal Arcana. I'm happy with this change personally. Vigor, is that how you pronounce it? Vigor? Or Vigor? Vigor. Vigor received changes to be in line with a new Spirit Staff with the following adjustments. The upgraded Spirit Staff. So overall, it's got a damage buff. The Spirit MP actually costs nothing. I can't read the change for Vigor. I don't know what this means. If they are buffs or nerfs, I'm not sure. Snake Eye Ring. Now this is where it's interesting. Snake Eye Ring has been the most useful swap out, especially in endgame. For every situation. Snake Eye has been such a useful swap out ring. And they buffed it. They made it better. 50 HP, 5 attack, 5 defense, 5 speed. They made this such a good swap out. Like, if it was already like an S tier ring for a swap out, if it was already like an S tier ring, it is even better now. Like, you got to start hunting more of these. These are really, really good. Captain's Ring also got buffs to it as well. Also a really decent ring. Now, this is more for, like, again, mid-game level play. But Captain's Ring actually is a pretty nice swap out too. I think this is really, really good. Elegant Parasol, I don't know what that is, but it's a buff because the cooldown got lowered. Ocular Entrapment got a buff. Experimental Ring, that's the Expo, has now got new stats. It's overall been buffed. Expo is much better now. 60 HP, 60 MP, 6 fit, 6 defense. Nothing could go wrong with that. And finally, Coral Ring, 90 MP, 5 speed, 5 dex, 5 whiz. These are all around really interesting changes. I personally am very happy with these changes. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy some of these changes. Me specifically, I think the Cult Staff, the Snake Eye Ring, 2 of them specifically, as well as all the buffs to the poisons and the skulls. This is a very, very positive change in the right direction. I'm very happy with this. So yeah, this is season 21 part 2. All of the changes are coming up. So this season is basically all going to be about exalting mana because it's a void focused event. Yeah, just focus up, grind those voids. You're going to need them. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.